Supergirl, episode 10, season finale, My Adventures with Supergirl. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of My Adventures with Superman and Supergirl. And this actually went very quickly. Like this season did go by very quickly. And it's your boy Icon with another DC animated TV review for you. And before we get into this, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, like and or subscribe to my YouTube channel, and let's get started. So the episode starts right where it takes off, where the supers are down and Brainiac is about to go for the kill. And I did call this, like I called this on the last episode. I said that right before the supers are going to die. Like all the heroes that we saw like in every episode up until this point, we're going to come in at the last minute and like save the day. And then when I made that statement, I realized John Henry Irons was really the only superhero. So John Henry Irons, he did show up. So, but one thing I didn't know, not only did John Henry Irons show up, he brought the cavalry with him, and all the villains that we saw throughout the course of the entire season, they showed up to assist Superman and Supergirl in helping out and saving the world. Even the Wall came, like, because the thing is, as much as we talk down bad on Amanda Waller, and as much as we're just like, yo, Amanda Waller's like this cold bitch, she's about Earth. She's about protecting people. She has a sick, twisted way of doing it, but like she ain't fucking with no alien scum, and the Wall is about that life. So even Amanda Waller, she was helping take down the robots and trying to stop people. There was a moment where she was with Lex Luthor, and then she said to Lex, she's like, oh, the robots are taking over. Can you stop them? And Lex was like, no. He's like, I can't stop them. Then she was like, well, I don't know. She's like, well, I'm going to protect the planet, and I'm going to help save the world. What are you going to do, Lex? And that motherfucker dipped. my man Lex dipped. I thought he was going to leave and go get in like a Lexo suit or something, and he was gonna come and help. That motherfucker bounced. Like we ain't see him again till like the very end of the episode. I was like, damn. Like, but it's Lex, so what are you gonna do? So now the Wall, you know, like she's fighting, and then all of a sudden we find out that the person that brought in John Henry Irons and who brought in all the villains was actually Lois's dad, who brought in the cavalry. So he teamed up with Mandy, again, and now everybody's fighting to save the planet. Like the supers are up, they get the supers up, and then they're just like, listen, we can stop Brainiac, but first we have to get rid of these kryptonite robots. So the rest of the villains, like they went out there, like they stopped the robots, they destroyed the robots, and then Superman and Supergirl, and I'm calling her Supergirl now because it's like, you know what it is. Like I even got the t-shirt. So Superman and Supergirl, now they, you know, like they went up to Brainiac's ship. And then when they went up to Brainiac's ship, that's when we find out Brainiac had one last trick up his sleeve where he used like a specific voice command to activate Kara again. So now Kara is evil again, and like, you know, because he has control over her, and she's fighting Clark and she's beating up Clark. And when Clark decided to go up against her, when Clark decided to fight her, he didn't try to fight her with like brute strength or brute force. He actually tried to beat her with love. Like he talked to her. He said, Carl, he's like, you know, I'm your family. Like, you know, like I love you. Like it's me and you together. We're the only Kryptonians left, and you have people who care about you. And it slowly started breaking through to her. And then Jimmy showed up and like hugged her from behind. And I was like, hold up, that's a lawsuit. And then Lois showed up, and then, you know, like she was hugging her. And then Superman started hugging her. Everybody started hugging her, and they were just like, come back to us, Kara. You know, like we love you and everything. And, you know, like the warmth kicked in, and then Kara ended up like she broke free of Brainiac's control. And then that's when both Kara and Superman flew up to Brainiac's ship. They took his ship, lifted it, and threw it into the sun. And during that sequence, Kara's costume, because she was wearing the Brainiac black and red costume, her costume changed from black and red to the traditional Superman colors. Now she's wearing the Supergirl pantsuit. I'm not always a fan of the Supergirl pantsuit. Melissa Benoist pulled it off, and she looked very sexy in the pantsuit. The pantsuit that Supergirl has here, I do like it. It's a little bulky for my taste for her, but I do like it. But I would like to have seen her put the traditional Supergirl costume on with the skirt and everything before she made the transition over to the pantsuit. But she has the pantsuit. And this is another thing. How did this suit just materialize out of nowhere? Like, even with Clark, when Clark, like, is it that the black suit that they're wearing, does it have, like, nanotech in it where it can change forms to any single thing that it wants? Because if that's the case, because even Clark, he had the black and red suit, and then he just manifested it into a brand new Superman costume. Kara had the Brainiac black and red suit on, and then she just manifested it into a brand new Supergirl costume. So I'm like, what is this nanotech that we don't know about? And if that's the case, and if you are able to manifest the suit into whatever you want, that means the two of them are walking around with Brainiac tech on their body, and I don't think that's a good idea. But she puts on the suit. They try to throw Brainiac into the sun. Brainiac makes one last ditch attempt to try to like save face. He blasts Kara. Kara goes into the sun. Clark goes in to try to pull her out, and then she's just like, oh my god, you came into the sun to try to save me. He was just like, yeah, you're my family, like I'll save you no matter what. And then both of them looked around and they was like, yo, why we ain't dead yet? and then that's when they started glowing and everything. And then that's when Kara, she was like, oh, Kal-El, she was like, we're Kryptonian. The sun is what gives us our power. And then Clark was like, oh shit, like, like she's right. But then I thought about it the same way how like in season 1, when Clark's dad was trying to talk to him like holographically, and and Clark couldn't understand his dad because he grew up on Earth and he doesn't know how to speak Kryptonian because he never spoke Kryptonian. I was just like, damn, that actually makes perfect sense, because every single time we see like a Superman adaptation where his dad's talking to him in Kryptonian, Clark can always understand him, but I'm like, no, it would actually make more sense that he could not understand him. So even here, when they were just like, oh my god, I think it's the sun is what gives us our power, I was like, well, shit, they wouldn't know that, would they? Like, that's not something that they would know. So they literally just found out where their power comes from. And I was like, that was actually cool. Like, like the attention to detail, because that makes perfect sense that they wouldn't know that, like up until that point. So now, like, they're supercharged, like they're super powered up. They go after Brainiac and they blow his ship into like smithereens, and Brainiac's gone, and he's just like, I'll get you, Kal-El, if it's the last thing I do. There's a piece of Brainiac on Earth somewhere. He uploaded his mind into something, so Brainiac will be back. So now, the supers save the day. The fans start cheering, like the public starts cheering, and then they're just like, oh, the people cheer for you, Kal-El, and he's like, no, he's like, they cheer for us, my cousin, and then now the supers are here to save the world. After that, we ended up getting like a post-credit scene because Kara had passed out, like trying to save the day, and then she passed out. She woke up on the Kent farm. Jimmy was there, Lois was there. Jimmy had a welcome to Earth basket for Kara, and now I'm like, this boy is officially broke. What was the point of counting Jimmy's money throughout the entire episode? We literally watched them count his funds and lower his bank account in every single episode in this particular season. That went absolutely nowhere. There was no purpose of counting his money. Him being broke had nothing to do with the plot. It had nothing to do with the overall story arc. I don't understand what was the purpose of counting this man's money and leaving us to believe that he broke when it literally went to nowhere. I don't even know how he got the money to buy her the fruit basket the way they was counting his funds. So, but anyway, so Jimmy's there. And then, like, she meets Mom, Pa, Ken, and then he's just like, oh, you have family here, Kara. So now Kara's happy. The next day, Lois and Clark, because remember, this is about Lois and Clark. Like Lois and Clark, they're on top of the Daily Planet. They're having a conversation. Lois was just like, oh, I'm not going to take the job with Vicky Vale. And I was like, shit, I forgot all about that. He's like, I'll follow you anywhere, Lois. I love you, Lois Lane. And she was like, fool, I ain't taking that job. She said, I'd rather be the first Lois Lane than the second, Vicky Vale. So she's like, I'm going to be right here, and we're going to do this thing together. And the two of them, they embraced, they kissed. Jimmy and Kara showed up. Jimmy and Kara have not kissed yet, but it is assumed that they are together. And then the four of them, and then like a cat was stuck in a tree or something, and then the four of them flew off to go save the day, because when Superman was just like, we'll be back, guys, we're gonna go save the world, Lois was just like, hell to the nah, I'm a reporter, Jimmy's a reporter, plus he got to get his money back up for this Flamebird account, so we're going with y'all, and we're gonna take photos and do the thing that we do. And the four of them flew off into the sunset. So then after that, there was like a the credit scene, because like in the end credits they were showing us footage of various things, and Lois and Clark were doing the voiceover for that ending sequence. And when they were doing the ending sequence and they were just like, oh, lives are saved, people are together, and everything is right with the world, I was like, why does this feel like a series finale? The way they were doing that voiceover and the way that they were talking, I swear to God, I thought the show was over. Like, officially, I thought this was the last season and we were never gonna get the show again, because this didn't feel like an ending to a season 2. This felt like the show was done. Like the way they were doing that whole thing. They said in the end, they just like, no matter what happens, like Superman and Supergirl will be here to save the day. And they showed a clip of Lex. He was with Deathstroke, so Lex and Slade are together, and now they're running LexCorp together. Like I said, they showed John Harry Irons and a bunch of other people and everything. So it ended on a positive note, and they were just like, no matter what happens, like Lois, Jimmy, Supergirl, and Superman, we're going to be here to save the day, da-da-da. That's how the episode ended, and thank you for tuning in. And then they did say after that, they said that season 3 of My Adventures of Superman and Supergirl are now in production, so they'll be back soon. So I'm just like, okay, so if you're going to get a season 3, why the hell did y'all give this overly dramatic like ending to the show? But I enjoyed it. It did go by very quickly, I'm not gonna lie, but it's only like a 20-minute episode minus commercial. So, but I was happy with the outcome. Supergirl finally got the costume, although it's the pantsuit. Like I said, it's still a cool costume. And I'm definitely happy we're going to get a season 3, and I look forward to reviewing it with all of you. So share your questions, comments, and concerns down below. Let me know what you thought about My Adventures of Superman season 2. Let me know what you thought about the dynamic with Kara, how she folds into the mix, and we will talk about it in the comment section. I got a lot of stuff coming up, like we're doing My Adventures with Superman. I got Suicide Squad Isekai. I'm reviewing Kite Man because Kite Man came out, and we're reviewing that Cobra Kai. And we're also going to do the Cape Crusader when that comes out August 1st. And then on July 27th, I'm doing New York Swim Week, so look out for that as well, guys. Like I said, a lot of stuff coming up on Red Eyes Entertainment, so hit that notification bell, like and or subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one. So that was it, guys. So until Superman and Lois comes out, we're done with My Adventures of Superman. So it's up and away until then. Until next time, as always, guys, take care. And about this, beyond.